Hi guys, Triple B here, and it's Wednesday. So we're going to be doing Workshop Wednesday tonight. Stellar Crown is just around the corner, so I think we're just get theory crafting on some new stuff. I did start to throw together a early concept for like Terrapagos EX with Lugia Vstar, which I think I'm pretty happy with where the list is at so far. I feel like Terrapagos is one of those cards where there'll be some interesting concepts you can kind of play around with. Like you compare it with Hisuian's Zoroark Vstar and do some pretty crazy stuff, right? Like getting a bigger bench means you can get more things that are damaged, and then Zoroark can do more damage. It's also a colorless Pokemon, so we can be using Glass Trumpet and charging it up. So yeah, I think we'll be playing around with that tonight. But so far, Caden, how you going, buddy? But yeah, so far, I think, yeah, the Terrapagos Darkrai, we'll try and kind of tweak, see where we get with that. Then, yeah, Zoroark, Terrapagos, and then potentially Dragapult EX. Welcome to the Goomba Gang, OP Butano. Negative Zone Goomba. I like it. How you doing, buddy? Mystic Isles over on YouTube. How you going, buddy? How are you doing? Yeah, multi-streaming. I'm on Twitch and YouTube, so keeping up with that chat. It'll be interesting. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Yeah, what decks are you guys most excited for Stellar Crown? Like, is there anything that we should be workshopping tonight besides the ones I've listed? It'll be Terrapagos, maybe apples. And obviously, it's a little bit tricky, right? Because, like, when we can hop on PTCGL, it's easy enough just to, like, theorycraft test. This is literally just going to be theory crafting, so yeah. Might not be the most exciting stuff. If you guys have ideas and kind of like concepts you want me to play around with, absolutely give me a shout. I'm always keen to kind of mess around with ideas. But give me un momento. We'll get Pokegear brought up, and then yeah, I think we just start building some stuff. We'll see how this goes. Ah, that didn't work. Is this screen? No, this isn't the screen. I feel like I had an okay one for this, but now I'm not sure. It ain't it, Chief. It ain't it. Hang on. I know what it is. Also, yeah, no, I didn't really prepare this too much in advance today. Normally I work from home on Wednesdays, but there was issues with our computers, so I did not get that opportunity and haven't had as much time to set up before stream tonight. I'll be honest. So pretty much just finished dinner and we were hopping on. Let's get rid of that. Is that coming through okay? That is coming through okay now. And that's coming through better. Okay, cool. So you guys can see what I'm doing. That's good. That's what we want. We can work with this. All right, we can work with this. I'll move this camera a little bit because it is directly in front of my screen. Welcome to the Goomba Gang. Weed PTGG. Hang on, I don't have the alerts on this one though. That's not good at all. Hang on. Okay, no. We'll keep playing around with this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm normally more prepared than this. To a degree. To a degree, we are more prepared than this. I feel like this will be fine. Yeah. Cut out some of this stuff. That can go. That can get trimmed. There we go. That'll be fine. All right. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right. Luxy Trade, how you going? Didn't even realize you weren't subscribed to this amazing channel. That's all good, man. That's all good. We're all human. We get around to it. Try putting the camera bottom left because otherwise you won't see some of the cards. Really? Let's play around with it. We'll play around with it and see how we go. Because yeah, I can always just change the sizing of where we've got stuff, right? Yeah, we want that gone. I think you might be right though. We'll import a list and see how it goes. Yeah, how you going, Luxie? Also, hey, everyone over on YouTube, how you guys going? We're on Twitch and YouTube. So just in case you see the Goombas popping up, that's when people are following on Twitch. I feel like there's a way for me to set it up for when you guys subscribe on YouTube too. And that'll be a look into it this weekend kind of thing. Because yeah, I was mentioning to everyone, unfortunately tonight, not as prepared as I was hoping to be for stream. Wednesdays, I normally get to work from home and it kind of just like cuts that commute time that I have. So it like frees up a bit of time to prep things for stream, get a bit ahead. And yeah, unfortunately I had to go into the office just due to some technical issues. So yeah, I pretty much came home, went for a run, made dinner, and we're live. Tonight we're going to be working on, I've got Terrapagos Darkrai already ready to go, and we're going to kind of like tweak that a little bit. And then the other one is going to be Terrapagos Zoroark, and then potentially Hydrapple. Let's just import this though, just to see how it goes for sizing. One or more cards failed to import, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, you're right. You guys won't be able to see it all. If I zoom out like really far, it's silly. Because like we could just do this.
A triple! Oh,
yeah! How you going,
yeah!
buddy? How you going? Maybe we just do that. It's not the prettiest thing, but it is a thing. I think we're just doing that. And then I believe I have the Pokegear background thing. There we go. Here we go. Wow, that looks hideous. No, it's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. How you going, Zen? You can tell I was very, very prepared for stream tonight. As always. Maybe we just do something like that. I don't hate it. Like, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Yeah, go graphic design skills. They're next level. I think that's what we're working with tonight, guys. We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. Lexi, you're just chilling? Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Raspberry doing pretty good? Me too, man. Me too. It's been a interesting day, but we're moving on. Hype for Stellar pre-release this Saturday. Nice. Is there a particular promo you're hoping to pull, Raspberry? Zen, doing fine. Can't wait to get your hands on Galvantula EX. Nice. Try and Prime Catcher instead of Legacy? Nah, like for this list, 100% is Legacy. I understand the logic for Prime Catcher, but 100% it is Legacy. With Legacy, I can make them have to knock out all 4 Iron Thorns. Can't do that with Prime Catcher. I want to make them play a 7 prize game. Prime Catcher, it's like you're a bit more aggressive, but it's like you're not a very aggressive deck. You are buying time, and you want more time. Actually, speaking of graphic design skills, would you be interested in thumbnails for YouTube? Potentially. I don't know. Like, I don't make a lot of money off YouTube, so it's not really one of those things where I can afford to hire people to do things, so I just do it all myself. I'm open to the idea. If you want to flick me a message over on Discord, we can talk, but yeah, I'll just be completely upfront with you. Probably not, but we can talk if you want. Z's Bones. Z's Bones is a robot. Hi, Z's Bones. Thanks for coming by. Bye. Raspberry Driftlim, that Crab and Booflint. Ooh, nice. Ledian ain't your type. Yeah, fair. I feel like Ledian will be good for pre-release format. Like, having Gust is big, but yeah, I don't know. Like, depending on the Booflint kit, if you get 2 Booflint, that's good. Like, you just kind of go all in on Booflint, hope to pull for some glass trumpets. Yeah, Lexi, if you want to talk, shoot me a message. Shoot me a message. But yeah, so far, this is kind of what I've cooked up for the Darkrai. Is that big enough for you guys? We want to make it... We can make it bigger. We have the technology. But yeah, so far, Weed PTCGL. What's the realistic damage output on this deck? Well, we have 14 energy in here, right? So absolute damage cap would be 3 times 15 because you have the base damage of 30. So you can get up to 450. Realistically, I'm thinking we should be able to get up to 280 to 330 without too much issue. Just because, like, you have Glass Trumpet, you have Dark Patch, right? You've got Squawk ability, so it's ideally we're sacking our hand initially, which gets energy into the discard pile. Dark Patch is using it to charge up the Darkrai's. Glass Trumpet's using it to get it on the Terrapagos. Because if we got... Like, being completely realistic, we're never going to get like 4 Glass Trumpet, 4 Dark Patch in a turn. But if we got, let's say, optimistically 2 and 2, that is what? 4, 6. So that's 6 energy coming out, 7 in one go with attachment for turn included in that. Darkrai is going to take a turn to get online, but if we're getting 7, oops, if we're getting 7 out initially, that's 210 we're getting up to. And then by the time we're evolved up, we can use Darkrai's Vstar ability, get the Glass Trumpets back, charge up more Terrapagos with energy in the discard pile. Like, I feel like you'll be able to get some pretty crazy turbo numbers, but at the same time, you also don't need to be doing 330 every single time, right? Like, I feel like as long as we can get up to 280, we're in a safe spot. 280, we would need how many energy in play? Multiplier of 9 is 270, so 9 energy plus the base damage, we're getting up to 300. So 9 energy in play, you're taking out V-Stars, which I don't see that as being unrealistic by turn 2. Like, by the time we have Darkrai evolved up. Raspberry's just like spamming hydrates. Cheers, buddy. Also having a Bidoof pop up in chat. Nice. Then you got to consider the Motivate turn 1 too. Yeah, if you go second, being able to use Motivate could be big. And even like if we're going second, Fan Rotom can technically attack, right? I can't make it. I can't zoom in on it because it's like a proxied card. Sometimes they're funny about it. Sometimes they work. Because like I did the buy list video using Pokegear and it was like no issues. It was like, oh yeah, like go to this. And the image is there. Sometimes no. Just says no. So Fan Rotom, on the first turn of the game, you can use this ability Fan Call. It lets you search your deck for 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less. It doesn't specify basic. Noctowl has 100 HP and is a colorless Pokemon, so the game plan with it is like you go Fan Rotom, get 2 Hoodoots and a Noctowl. Then the following turn, you evolve up Noctowl. Noctowl lets you get any 2 trainer cards from your deck as long as you have a Terra Pokemon in play. So as long as we have Terrapagos in play, we can just grab 2 things, right? Like we can be grabbing 2 Dark Patch, we can be grabbing a Research and a Glass Trumpet. Like you can get some pretty crazy stuff. So I like the idea of it. But the other consideration is late game, we don't have a lot of draw power. So if you get hit with an Iono, are we better off just building this with Bidoof instead? And that's kind of the tricky bit, right? Like Noctowl is great for early game aggression to just be able to like, I get whatever I want. Mid to late game, it's like your opponent Ionos you, and it's like, well, in a bit of a bind. And what's the logic behind Thornton? So Thornton allows you to swap out any basic Pokemon from play with a basic Pokemon from the discard pile. Darkrai, it's going to be one of those tricky things where like if we only have 1 in play and our opponent knocks it out and we don't have a backup basic like Darkrai V in play, we're going to be in a tough spot. But we have Terrapagos that's going to be getting charged up Dark Energy using Glass Trumpet. You go Thornton, we swap it out. It's going to keep those energy on it. It switches with the Darkrai V that's in our discard pile. Then we just need to get into a Darkrai Vstar and we can evolve it up because it keeps turns in play as well. So like you can Ultra Ball and get into it, or if you're just holding a Darkrai Vstar. So it's just one of those things, just like instant recursion. I think it's a pretty good call. It is another one of those things though where it's a utility supporter. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards we build this with Bibarel, I'll be completely honest. And that's just one of those things that like testing this will go a lot further. Like if we could actually play some games with this, be like, all right, is a Noctowl like guaranteed pieces better? Or do I want that consistency of Bibarel? And if we're going for that consistency of Bibarel, it's also good because we have a lot of things that want to discard from our hand. Like Ultra Ball wants to discard. So we're going like Ultra Ball, sacking energy, getting into a Pokemon that's likely going to be the Bibarel, evolve up into it. Now I have an empty hand. Bibarel goes, cool, it's refilled. I got into another Ultra Ball and some Earthen Vessels. Like Earthen Vessel a piece away, get 2 energy, Ultra Ball those 2 energy away, get into another Pokemon. Like, it's a tricky call, right? I feel like the Noctowl line and the Bibarel line are very interchangeable. If we were to switch it out for Bibarel, also, we don't need the Fan Rotom anymore. So then the Fan Rotom likely becomes either 2 more Ionos or like 2 Trekking Shoes, potentially, or more Earthen Vessels. Honestly, that's probably what it is. It would just become more Earthen Vessels. So we'd go 2-2 Bibarel, Fan Rotom becomes 2 more Earthen Vessels. Could test it on PTCG Sim. What's PTCG Sim? I'm just hesitant about using third-party things on here, Asper. I am trying to get in good with Papa Pikachu. Game plan is I'd like to be able to cast at some point. So if it's like a third-party thing, I'm probably not going to use it. I'll be completely honest, man. If you want to test with someone for Stellar Crown before it releases, your DMs are... Cheers, man. Lex trade Stretcher for consideration. Stretcher wouldn't be a bad shout. I don't mind the idea of Stretcher. Just because then it's like, oh, we need a Pokemon back? Cool, get it. Or oh, I need an attachment for turn. This can get me that energy. So yeah, good call out, Lux. Doesn't our bench get quite plugged up? The bench does get a little bit tricky. Because like ideal bench is going to be likely 2 Darkrai, 2 Terrapagos, and then it's like Gren Squawk. So where are the Hoodoot's going? It's like, we might want that new stadium in there, right? Like we could be running it with Area 0. So we chuck that in there just to add us some bench space, and it makes it so Terrapagos is an attacking option as well. If the opponent ever bumps the stadium, if we've overfilled our bench, it's a way to get things like Squawkabilly off, right? We get Squawkabilly, we get rid of Fan Rotom, and all of a sudden it's like, cool, I only have the key pieces I need. Excuse me. But then it's what are we cutting to make space for that? Because like as it is right now, we only really have 1 switch card, which is concerning, and that's the Rescue Board and Prime Catcher, right? Like Prime Catcher is effectively Switch Gust, and Rescue Board is recurring Switch. So you chuck this on something with 1 retreat, it allows us to use like Dark Patch, Glass Trumpet, charge up things on the bench. So I like the idea of having this. I like the idea of having this too for the bench space. Scoop up Cyclone, unclog bench, plus reuse supporter. Reuse support Pokemon. Maybe? I don't hate that. Right, because it'd be like scoop up a Noctowl, put it back down. Jordan, why is there 14 energy? Because Darkrai scales up damage based on energy. This is a Darkrai deck that happens to have Terrapagos. It's not a Terrapagos deck. Terrapagos gets capped, right? Terrapagos goes 30 for each thing on your bench. Max bench size being 8, you get up to, what, 240? It's not a bad number, but it's not a big enough number. If I'm building a Terrapagos deck, I'm building Terrapagos as like a defensive thing. Like we'd be running it with Bouffalant, or we'll run it with Penny. Good morning, Tuka. Yeah, like the Terrapagos is effectively, it's there to trigger Noctowl, and it's there to trigger Glass Trumpet. I don't mind the idea of having an Area 0 in there, though. for the bench space. Do we need Thornton? Technically not. The Thornton's more one of those, like, it's a good play to have up your sleeve. Because the Thornton is if you don't have 2 Darkrai V in play. Right? They knock out a V-Star. If I don't have another V in play, I want Thornton there. And maybe the Thornton is if we do it as a Bibarel build. Here. How do I save this? So if I save this, can I open it in another one? Or if I just paste this, can I open it in another one? Okay, I can just paste it and it saves most of it. We just lose the do pieces. What else is new? Glass Trumpet. And the Noctowls, but the Noctowls I think we replace. Let's try that. Let's try a Bibarel build. I'm kind of leaning towards the Bibarel build now. Because the Bibarel build gives us more bench space to work with. Or not more bench space, more deck space to work with. So then we could do that, like have 2 of those in there. Could have 4 of these. We have a draw engine. Add a second one of him. And I guess it's even to the point of, do I even need him then? Like, do I actually care about having this, or do I just cut this? Because, like, Bibarel can technically use Glass Trumpet. Maybe I don't even need Terrapagos. Like, we genuinely could get to that point where it's just, like, cut Terrapagos. Just have these. It means we could cut this, too. Tuka, what time is it for me? It is 7:50 p.m. Max, do we need to fan Rotom? It's not a 100% requirement, given we are seeing a lot of cards. That's true. That is true. Brave Thanatos, welcome to the Goomba game, buddy. Maybe we do cut these. Not this. This is too good to cut. Like, we could cut these, have the Bibarel in there, we have the Squawkabilly. Means we can keep the Thorntons. We can, like, Thornton swap a Gren or a Squawkabilly for one of these guys. And then just chuck in more ways to get into energy, like more vessels, and then I could potentially have, like, shoes. Raspberry, you think Terrapagos stays? What's the logic in keeping Terrapagos in this build? What's the logic in keeping it? With Noctowl, 100% it stays. With Bibarel, I don't know that we need it. This, yes. 100% we need Terrapagos in here because it sets up the Noctowl. If we're going for Bibarel, I think we just go more aggressive. Brave Thanatos, thoughts on Roaring Moon EX post-stellar? I think it'll be fine. I think Roaring Moon's one of those cards that it can just be good the entire time it's in rotation. It has an attack that literally says, I take a knockout. So, like, regardless of how much health your opponent has, it's just, yep, that's gone. So if we see, like, tanky decks or, like, very large HP decks making a comeback, Roaring Moon's ready. And we have ways to deal with special energy. So, like, even if you encounter people running, like, Mist Energy, it's like, well, I just use Enhanced Hammer or I use Temple of Sinnoh and I can get around that. So I feel like Roaring Moon will be fine. Also, like, just doing 220, it's a fine number to hit. There's ways to scale that up now, too. It's a dark type, so you could even, like, chuck in Petrant and Binding Mochi to get it up to 260. Yeah, no, I think Roaring Moon's in a good spot. Raspberry, sometimes you can get Darkrai Vstar. You can't get Darkrai Vstar fast enough? I guess so. Which then, do we just find another basic attacker? Another basic dark attacker. What do we have? What do we have? I want dark. I want basic. And I want in rotation. Can I select let by letters in this? I don't think I can. We need that. I need a letter box. But realistically, it's what? Basically everything at the top. Oh, maybe promo. Promo might be relevant. What says that? McDonald's. McDonald's might be relevant. You never know. It's a basic dark Pokemon. That's not in. Oh, as a trainer gallery. This is why, yeah, we need to be able to search by like regulation mark. Darkrai. Remember when he was good, and then all the battle styles cards rotated? Poor guy. What's Skunk Tank do? Does 30 more damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon if this didn't retreat from... If that Pokemon retreated from the active spot during your opponent's last turn, does 120 more? Oh, no, that's not it. Absol EX. 100 if your opponent has 3 or fewer cards in their hand. 120 more. 3 energy for the attack though. It's too expensive. Like, not bad numbers, but too expensive. Like, technically we could be sneaking in like Roaring Moon EX, but I don't think that's the play. Blissey EX connects through... I don't know how we're fitting Blissey in this deck, though. We'd likely have to thin the Darkrai lines to go for Blissey. Maybe a Petrant for late game. It also means we have a switch out for Darkrai. Right, like we can bounce Darkrai into the active so we have outs for Dark Patch to it, even if we don't have a rescue board in play. And then late game, it's a pretty good attacker. Like scaling by 60 for each prize, so it can get up to, I guess, max 300. Realistically, though, what, 240? Pheasantipity is also not a bad shout to include in here. So it might just be like, slot in Pheasantipity, slot in Petrant. What's that other one? Maybe Blood Moon? Because he does what? 240. We can target him with Glass Trumpet. Alright, his attack gets cheaper, so like mid-game he could be a pretty big threat. Like even if we just have 2 energy on them, if our opponent ever takes 3 prizes. Or have 3 energy on it for what, like 2 Glass Trumpets to it and then attach to it for turn. 240 is not a bad number. Glass Trumpet only works if terrorism. Oh, that's why we need Terrapagos. Yep. Yeah, we can't cut Terrapagos. Like, why do I need Terrapagos? That's why. Damn it, Glass Trumpet. All right, so Terrapagos is back. Cheers, Jasper. Deathlight, how you going, man? Yeah, we definitely need Terrapagos then. I still think I kind of like this though. You think we need to get Petch though? What's our bench space like in this though? So ideally we want 2 Darkrai. It's gonna be 2 Darkrai, likely a Gren, so that's 3. A Bibarel is 4. 1 Terrapego, so we can be using Glass Trumpet, gets us to 5. And then we have the floating space of potentially a Fez, Petch, or Blood Moon. Yeah, I don't mind it. And the fact that we have Rescue Board in here too means like we could check Rescue Board on Pheasantipity. We could bounce it to the active with Petulant. Retreat it so that when we go into a Darkrai, it's not poisoned. Petch can be good against Stall, that's true. Is Snorlax even seeing play still though? But yeah, I do like the idea of Petulant. I like the idea of Petulant. Ursaluna, I'm a bit mixed on. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm a bit mixed. Squawkabilly, I feel like for the burst potential is too good not to include it. But like, we don't really have a great way to get it off the bench aside from Thornton, or if we put in the stadium again, right? Like if we have Area 0, then it's just we overbench. That's like on a 3-stream watch streak. Love it, man. Love it. Maybe change Thornton for Turo. I like Thornton. I like Thornton for this. We're very dependent on having an evolved Pokemon as our main attacker. So if we ever get to a point where we don't have 2 in play at one point, we are pretty screwed. Like, yes, now we have Ursaluna as a backup attacker. But we also have a 65 card deck, so Ursaluna's probably not making the cut. Unless I thin the Darkrai lines, but then if we ever prize them, we're in a tough spot, right? Like if I thin Darkrai to a 2-2, that means we also need to include Heavy Ball. Could cut down the Earthen Vessels, right? Because we bumped that up as a bit of a luxury piece. So I don't know that we necessarily need it that high. Pheasantipity is also like it's a maybe one. I like the fact that we could be attacking with it, right? Like being able to spear something is pretty good. 3-2? Nah, I don't know. I don't want to go 3-2. We could run a 3-2, but I'm not going to 3-2. Because like we're kind of all in on him as our attacker. If we had other attackers that could be doing good numbers in the early game, we could technically get away with a 3-2. But if we have it as a 3-2 and we prize 2 of them, we're screwed. Right? Like Petch isn't doing anything until prizes are taking. Ursaluna, we'd need to be committing 5 energy to attack. Technically, Terrapegos would be able to attack. So I'm cutting a card just to replace it with a different card. Right? 3-2, Heavy doesn't get the evolution. So saying include Heavy doesn't really help the fact that I'm saying we'd potentially be prizing the evolution. If we went 2-2, we would need Heavy Ball to get into the basic, but then the risk still exists that we're not getting into the evolution. The Darkrai line, I'm not cutting. I'm not cutting that any thinner than it is. That one's like a not even up for discussion. Ryu. Heavy feels good in this deck with a lot of one-offs. These one-offs at the bottom are just considerations. So these are like, do we fit them in the deck? Well, the Terrapegos, no. The Terrapegos is 100% in the list. But like the Ursaluna, the Petch, the Fez, these are, hey, can we slot these in? What are we cutting if we want these in? But yes, I agreed with a lot of one-off things, like Heavy Ball to get the Squawk, Heavy Ball to get the Gren, Heavy Ball to get, yeah, the Petch, the Fez, the Blood. Yeah. If Squawk is prized and we're reliant on Heavy Ball to get into it, yeah, you're not getting it. Like, we don't have ways to target Heavy Ball. Gren though, yes. Got 1 dark energy. Definitely like 1 dark cry, 59. Do we need 14? If we have 13, if we have every single energy in play, that gets us to what? 420? It's a funny number. No, technically we don't need 14. We have it at high counts though, so that in our opening hand, you want to be seeing 2, right? You want to be seeing at least 2 energy. So if we're seeing Ultra Ball, those are the targets. If we're seeing Earthen Vessel, the energy is the target. We're getting into more energy. We're Ultra Balling away those energy to get into Squawk ability to ditch our hand and get into more things. Or we're opening 5 energy. Like if we're getting situations where we have a bunch of energy in our hand and then we go into Squawk ability and then it's like, great, Blast Trumpet can proc, Dark Patch can proc. Because like we need to find energy and we need to find ways to get it in the discard pile. So the more ways that we have just to happen to find it, like just drawing into it, the better. Because we want it in our hand when we're discarding our hand, like with Research, with Squawk, with Ultra Ball, with Earthen Vessel. We want to always be seeing energy. If we're ever in a situation where we don't have an energy in our hand, we've fucked up. And it's rare that I swear. So like, yes, you need energy. Still can't knock out a Zard with Cape. True, it's just out of range. That is true. Realistically though, how many Zards with Capes are we seeing these days? I like Cape Zard. But like, I don't think a lot of people run that. I feel like most people get fixated on, oh, Prime Catcher, get me prizes. It's like, yeah, and fair. You want to be aggressive. Not too many people can, like, I don't know. What's the best phrasing for it? Confidently play a defensive mindset like that. And also the fact that Cape can get lost vacuumed away, and most decks have a one-off lost vacuum. As soon as you put Cape, your opponent just goes, cool, lost vac. Like, yeah. Cape Zard's the way to play against Drago. Is it? Why does Cape help you into Drago? Making them have to 3-shot you? Like hit 200, hit 200, hit 200 again? Don't they just hit you with Dragapult, does 200, hit you with Dragapult, does 200, gust around it, hit something else, but they put counters on it? Bulk up with Ogre True. Or Tina 2. Nah, you wouldn't Tina 2 times. Surely you don't Tina 2 times. No, you don't Tina 2 times. Having at least 2 dark in the hand is 55. Yeah, and that's good. That's what we want. Is that with 13 or is that with 14? Having at least 1 dark energy in hand with opening with 13 energy is 111%. With 13, it's 55%. What's it with 14? I bet it's over 60. And I like that. It's more likely to happen. But yes, we could theoretically thin the energy for it a bit. Tiny Tina? In the Wonderlands? Deathlike, did you see the Borderlands movie? Is it worth seeing, or is it like a wait until it's on like Netflix and have cheap wine and drink some cheap wine and watch it kind of movie? Some Dragger playing Jamming Tower? That's pretty spicy. Yeah, I feel like most decks have ways to deal with tools. You refuse to watch it? Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from it. It's like when they made that Dragon Ball movie. It's like, no, they didn't need to make Dragon Ball into a live action movie. And I'm proud to say I have never watched it and never will. Raspberry, 120% 1 dark energy with 14 and 60% with 2. Yeah, see, I like that. I like that. Exactly 60%. That's beautiful. We still need to cut stuff though. Like with this build, we probably can get away without the area 0. Right? Because what's our bench with this would be 2 Darkrai. Whoops. 2 Darkrai, that's 3. Bibarel's 4. Squawk 5, that's 6. With Thornton a Squawk away. We get another Darkrai. Yeah, like getting these onto the bench is still going to be tricky. I wish we had another basic colorless Terra Pokemon. Because what do we have that's colorless in Terra right now? I feel like there's, what, a Greedent? But he's a stage 1. There's Blissey, but it's stage 1. And yes, I see the value in Blissey. You guys have mentioned, like, oh, you can Blissey, you can move the energy around. And yeah, I agree. But at the same time, like, we have Dark Patch. We just Dark Patch to Darkrai. Ninja Man, Pokegear app? Yeah, Pokegear app. Pokegear.app. It's a good way to just, like, throw together deck lists. You can drag in images, too. So, like, for proxying cards for sets before release, it's a really good tool to be able to use. Apple, hey, buddy. How are you? I see you over on YouTube. I see you. I've got like Twitch chat right here, but then I've got like the YouTube one. It's there. Like I still see you guys. I'm sorry, man. I hope I didn't leave you hanging too long. How's your night going? Or day, depending what time zone you're in. That's like the Sonic 3 trailer dropped today. Isn't it like Keanu Reeves' Shadow? Is that confirmed now? Funny thing is with 12 energy, you get 51% of 2 in hand. Yeah, see? So with each energy, we're going up by 5%. 5% makes a difference. Okay, what do we cut? No, I'm getting sidetracked. And like theoretically, we could even just go down to a 1-1 Bibarel line, right? Like that might be it. But then we have all these weird janky pieces. It's like, I'm kind of leaning towards we cut the Ursaluna. I like the idea of having the Petch. Because we have the Petch, we could get away with not having a rescue board, but then that means we're going to be poisoning our active. Although I guess at the same time, we just Petch before we evolve. We poison ourselves, we evolve through it. Because like I could do that and then cut 1-1 and then cut 1 dark energy and call it a day. Or a thin vessel. I could cut 1 vessel. I think Vessel's almost too strong though. Like we really want Vessel in here. How do you add cards that haven't released? You literally just click and drag. So I make proxies of cards. If you type !proxy, it'll take you through to the file for it. And then you can just download any of the ones you own off that. Oh, maybe it's not plural. Might not be plural. There you go. So yeah, there's most of the playables from Stellar Crown, and then I've already got cards from Paradise Dragon up on there as well. Also, chance of having some way to get into Squawk in opening hand is 77%. See? That's good. We want Squawk in hand. 77 is a good count. Like the area 0, maybe we do cut. We could cut it down to 1. Right, because we only really need to get this off once. We get this off once, we expand our bench. Our opponent ever counters the stadium, we shrink our bench. Raspberry, are you about to post a link? If you're about to post a link, let me know, man. If you post a link before I give you permission, it will just delete all your messages. Zoroark? Zoroark's gonna be the next one we experiment with. You start with 60 times the things you want. Okay. You're literally just like manually doing it? You don't go to a website for it? I feel like there's probably a site that's like, if I have this many counts of a card in my deck, what are the odds? $60 times the thing you want. Okay, so if you're adding what? 4 Nest Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, Squawk Ability, there's 9 copies of them, 9 times 60, divide that by 7. Don't you have to like multiply that into each other then? Because like you're drawing into 7 things, but it's for each one you're drawing, you're also taking something out. So like, what if you hit a Nest Ball? What if you hit multiple Nest Balls? Oh, we need to cut 2 more things though. So yeah, it probably is just cutting energy and then cut our vessel. I want that higher though. I really do want that higher. Might be that. Vessel at 3, Ultra Ball at 3. Because like for the most part, Nest Ball gets us into the pieces. Ultra Ball is ideally being used for Darkrai, Vstar, Bibarel. In a pinch, it can get us into the other things though. I don't hate it. And another consideration would be like, do we do a Pokestop build with this? Mr. Soda King, there's indeed a website for it. Limitless has a tool for starting hands. Nice. So you could be like, what are the odds of drawing into this? All right. I think that's going to be the Bibarel build of that though. Happy with that. Noctowl variant, we do need to cut down some pieces. Which, yeah, maybe it is cut 1 Fan Rotom, cut 1 energy, and then we move on. Right? Thin that, thin that. I guess same logic, just thin the area 0. Although with this one, we do kind of want the area 0, right? Because we're going to be having like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's filled up, but that's also likely he's on the bench. Okay, so it's going to be like half that. I think that's fine. Thoughts? Happy with that one. We'll arrange it pretty. Hang on. Actually, that one was already done pretty well. Cool. Okay. Well, that's Bibarel, Darkrai, Pegos, and Pegos Noctowl. Not mad at these. Not mad at these. Definitely one of those things that like playtesting will get some more refined lists, but I think as a starting point, these are good. Throw together a video on those near the end. What else do we want to try? So next, I think, yeah, we do Pegos Zoroark. This is just to save me a bit of time in pasting some things in. So the Darkrai is obviously getting kind of... Oh, it doesn't even save the Pegos. Dang. He probably stays. I feel like he can stay. Fez just seems like one of those just blanket good cards. But then, yeah, it's Pegos. Probably make it a little faster. What do we do the Zoroark as a 3-3? Same concept as Darkrai. We want to be seeing him. He's the main attacker. Pegos could be an attacker in this as well.
That's
Glass Trumpet. Welcome to the Goomba Gang, Garurok. Also, bear with me 2 seconds, guys. We will move where these pop up. There we go. Realizing that it's kind of popping up over the chat where we have it for this screen. How you going, Gar? Maybe a 4-3? That's true. It's like we want to guarantee we're opening it. Is there any other terrors that could be relevant for this build, though? Or is the stadium? Haven't checked it in yet, right? I was trying to be lazy and just like copy over from the previous deck, and it doesn't seem to have pulled through. For this one, though, yeah, I feel like Area 0 we'd likely need to bump up. Because we want it. We always want this to be in play. Yeah, send it through, Raspberry. Sombra, how you going? Gengar? Yeah. It's like the Gengar pump play is always good. You could also try building it with Dodrio, but I don't know. The Dodrio, it's just another stage 1 you need to get online, right? We want the Where Am I Gengar? No, I feel like for visibility it's easier to have this one. But the Where Am I Gengar is just so good. When they bump the stadium away? What do you mean? Gengar when they bump the stadium away? This guy? What's he doing when they bump the stadium away? I guess we technically could attack with him, right? We can choose any color of energy. I could just put Psychic Energy in this. We could attack with him. I kind of like the idea of having Dark Energy, though, because we could be running it with Monkey Dory, right? Our guy tanks a hit. We move damage counters off of him. Booflin only applies to basics, right? Like, I can't make a really tanky Zoroark Vstar. Doesn't want to work. Like, sometimes it works. I swear that we looked at, like, Terrapagos earlier. Booflin, what does he say? If you have another Booflin in play, all your basic colorless Pokemon take 60 less. Yeah. So for the Zoroark to take less, I'd need to pair it with like Lake Acuity, which then reduces the amount of damage we're doing because we don't have Area 0 under depths and have water energy on it. Rigid Band would make it take a little bit less. No, I don't think it's happening. Booflin is just for basic colorless. Like basic, yeah. It's not as good. Heather, how you going? What time zone are you in? It's so early in the morning. I'm based in Australia, Heather. So for me, it is 8:21 p.m. So good morning. Thank you for starting your day with me. And yeah, for anyone on YouTube, I'm sorry if I'm missing your guys' comments. It like the screen I have the YouTube chat on, it kind of just like disappears after a minute. Like what you guys are seeing on screen for like the chat showing up, I see that. That's it. So I'm sorry if you guys feel like you're being missed. I'm doing my best, I'm sorry. I could probably get like a dedicated YouTube chat one. Well, I'll look into that for next stream. Raspberry, when you send me a message on Discord, send me that message too. Be like, hey, Triple, remember, dedicated YouTube chat there as well.
Fancy.
Supreme, welcome to the Goomba Gang, buddy. Maybe we put that down here. I feel like you guys can see it better down there. All right, before this, I'm getting distracted. So we need damage pump. 100% we need damage pump in here. Is Monkey Dory too greedy? Monkey Dory might be too greedy. For this, though, we can also run a lot less energy. I feel like 8 is more than enough. Squawkabilly, probably still fine. Squawkabilly might be too greedy. But I guess at the same time, you want energy in the discard pile for Terrapagos to get. We don't need Dark Patch because we don't have any Dark Pokemon. I might want higher counts of Gengar, to be honest. Higher counts of Gengar, or potentially... Do we do this? Hear me out. Emolga. Supreme, how's music going? You watching you doing the Diplin deck? Nice! Like the festival lead one for standard, or are we talking a bunch of build battles? What'd you think of it? Could technically still put the energy mix for Terrapagos second attack? Like technically. But Emolga's Sky Wave is going to do a base damage of 10 to the active, but then 10 damage to each bench Pokemon. So us and the opponent. And it has free retreat. So this makes it a great pivot. Right? Glass Trumpet. We don't have Glass Trumpet in here yet. Glass Trumpet targets the bench. So it's like similar to Dark Patch. So having a free retreater makes it easier to get that online, right? Like we can have Zoroarks on the bench, Emolga in the active, pivot. I like the idea of that. Move this up. The Bibarel engine, I feel like still makes sense in this deck. We could probably get away with just like a 1/1 in it though. Because we do have a lot of draw power. Zoroark's draw power. We have draw supporters. Fezandipity theoretically gets cut. Maybe Fez gets cut. Thoughts? Keep it, cut it. Keep it, cut it. Kind of leaning towards cut it. Don't like having to attack to set up Zoroark. I'm not the biggest fan either, but the current build we have, we only have Gengar to get damage counters in play. Like it doesn't have Gapejaw Bog because you want Area 0 under depths in play. So unless we're going to run a mix of stadiums, like we could have Gapejaw for initial setup and then Area 0 for after, but I think that gets funny. Unless we're going to get up to like 6 stadiums. Like we could run 3-3. And it's also, we're not reliant on attacking to get Zoroark online. It's just an option. All right, like if we're going second, Zoroark's not really attacking first turn. I could use the Void Return, do 30 and bounce it to the bench, or I could use Emolga, set up damage on my bench. I think I'd go for Emolga in that situation. Also, we probably want just some straight switch cards. Maybe we suss out a deck list for this. I feel like it would have been seeing play in Japan. How are they doing it? This one. I like the silver borders. Silver border switch, best switch. Could probably also thin this a bit. You sent the link, Raspberry? Cheers, bud. Just making sure you guys are seeing that still. Okay, cool. Let's see if there's any list for Japan. Oh, Japan's starting kind of spicy. Yeah, like higher counts of Gengar. Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pawn. Absolutely cooked. What? They're still running it with like DTE though. I don't like the idea of running it with DTE. I feel like you go in with Glass Trumpet. Although I guess at the same point is like, well, Glass Trumpet, I need to have them on my bench. I need to get the energy in the discard. DTE is just like one attachment, go. Some of them are running it with Dodrio. Dodrio, Noctowls. And then, yeah, having... Okay. So they've got it with Quarterstone Mask Ogerpon, but you have like DTE can pay part of the attack cost on that. And then Wellspring Ogerpon for the same logic. I don't hate that idea, actually. I'll show you guys these. These are kind of spicy. You think 3 Gengars are good? Yeah, could be good. That's still over on YouTube. Gecko over on YouTube. How's it going? Everyone on Twitch, come here. No ads. That's how I make money, man. That's how I make money. There's ads everywhere. Gecko, would I use a recommended deck? Occasionally. I'd more so take suggestions. Like if you want to send through a deck list, we can give it a sus. Tonight, I don't think I'm playing any games though. We're kind of just theory crafting for the new set. So if there's a deck from Stellar Crown you want me to try and throw together, or that you have like a concept for, we can talk about that. But yeah, I don't think I'm playing any PTCGL games tonight. Deathlike, realize you now have 3 armies for Warhammer over 2,000 points. Is that good? That sounds good. Raspberry Twitch is better than your anti-money make. Hey. Yeah, and Dust, I don't know how to feel about that comment, man. Yeah. You're confusing me lately, bud. They have a cloth in there? What the hell? I feel like this is pre-Stellar Crown, though. Yeah, it's like Binding Mochi and stuff. So this would be Shrouded Fables. Oh, maybe not, because then, yeah, here we have a Terrapagos one. Huh. I haven't yet, Raspberry, no. I think for tonight, we're going to stick with these. I'll like, switching to different things. It's usually one of those things I need to kind of do off stream, just to make sure there's not any issues with it. Going to a completely unknown site that someone has DM'd me. It's a little bit risky live on stream. I'm not saying I disagree with you or I don't believe you. I'm just saying I'm not currently using it. Gecko, you have a deck list for Gengar EX, but it's not updated for Stellar Miracle. That's all good, man. What do you think about Miraidon EX next set, Speedwrecker? It doesn't really gain or lose anything. So it should be fine. Like if you're finding Miraidon is working for you now, it will continue to work for you next set. Right, like Stellar Miracle, for the most part, it's introducing Terrapagos. You're getting Noctowl. It's like if you have any Terra Pokemon in your Miraidon deck, like maybe you sneak in a Noctowl line to be able to like, hey, Noctowl for 2 Electro Generators. I'm not too sure what Terra Pokemon you'd be running in a Miraidon deck, though. Could be worth experimenting, though. Could be worth. Because we don't have any, like, basic Terra electric Pokemon yet, do we? I feel like we're getting a Pikachu next set. Surging Sparks, there's going to be a Pikachu EX. It'll likely be Terra. Maybe there's Justification slotted in there, and then you could run, like, Noctowl with it. But that won't be until November. Brave unknown sites, ruins of Alpha DMs. Oh god. Okay, I like that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, I changed my scene. I'm not sure which one we were on before. Hang on. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. There we go. That's it. That's the one. If you're wrong with opening it in Discord, you can open it here. I don't understand what you're saying, Raspberry, but all right. You can send it here? No, don't send it here. I'm not saying I can't go to Discord to open it. I'm saying I am not opening a website I'm not familiar with on stream for the first time ever. I don't care where you send me the link. I'll check it out off stream. And in the future, we may use it. For right now, though, no. It's not that he doesn't want to open the link. It's more that he doesn't know. Yeah. Like, I'm sure the link does go somewhere. I just don't know that it's somewhere I want to go, or that will be like correctly set up for the stream. The glitch links on stream are suspicious. Exactly. That's why if someone sends a link on stream, all their messages get deleted instantaneously. So please don't just randomly send a link, Raspberry. Doing good, Glitch. How are you? Deathlike. Why are they running with Charge-a-Bug? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Because Charge-a-Bug, you'd be taking damage counters when you attach energy to yourself, yeah? Are they onto something, or is that garbage? Would that trigger with Trumpet? Whenever any player attaches an energy card from their hand. Like, it's not bad. You gotta head off, Raspberry? Oh, good, man. Oh, good. Have a wonderful night. As a mod, your messages won't get deleted. Yeah, it's true, man. That's true. Take that sword away. No, just kidding. Emma! Is it Emma or Emmen? M-Man the Bladder. Is that how I say it? How you going? Yeah, I figured out how to stream on YouTube too. Dude, I'm in a few places. Speed Wrecker, is it Stellar Crown or Stellar Miracle? Stellar Crown is going to be the English set list. Stellar Miracle is the Japanese. Also, who's giving me bits? Lil Tone, cheers, buddy. Thanks for the penny. Like one bit's like a cent, yeah? Charger? Ah, it is Charger. What is it with the G? It's like a charger. It's a battery. With a J, it's like... Ah, no. It's why not G? Why? It's like no. Because with a J, is that even like a pun in anything else? Or they're just like, no, we just want to make spelling difficult for children. And grown-ups apparently too. So excited for Stellar Lapras Chin Pao 2.0. Could be good, could be good. Have you seen the Black Kyurem EX? I think it'll be good for Chin Pao. Just as like a flat damage attacker. And also into Dragon decks being like, nah. I'm making your life difficult. Why not G? Right? Why not G? Where the G? Where them G's at? I like the idea of Monkey Dory in this. I want to be able to charge up Zoroark with Glass Trumpets and use Monkey Dory. Because if I have Glass Trumpet, it means Terrapagos is theoretically an attacker, even if I don't have damage counters out. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I want more things that have damage on them to get damage counters out. So we definitely want more Gengars. Theoretically, Gengar we want higher than it currently is too, right? Like if we have it at 4, we're more likely to see it. If I have to Ultra Ball to get into a Gengar and then find a way to ditch the Gengar, we'd want Earthen Vessel, because like none of these really have that. Yeah, they're going like DTE. But I do like the DTE because then, yeah, Mew's in there. It's a threat. Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon is technically an option. I might pinch this one. I don't mind the idea of Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. The one glass trumpet doesn't even make sense though. Like, what's the point in having it? What site is this? Pocket Book. I'll link it. Also, hey, how you going, Fallen? Pokemon, stop making your first language difficult. Right? Like, English is already a horrible language. Why are you making it worse than it is? Why? Who hurt you? Yeah, charge is sort of funny. Alright. I'm already bad enough at English. I only know one language. It's my best and worst language. Want to try Entei Vstar with Arceus Vstar? Entei Vstar? What Entei Vstar? There's an Entei V. Is there? There's no Entei Vstar. Is there a? No. What? What are you talking about? Now you're breaking my brain. First they break my brain with this charge bug with a J, and now... No, I would know if there's an Entei Vstar. It's literally in the logo. I keep an eye out for these things. Death like your source, you made it up? That sounds about right. That's on brand for you, definitely. It was in a book that I wrote. Oh, okay, yeah. Like, this is kind of what I'm leaning towards, like a simplified one. You got high counts at Gengar, high counts at Zoro. I do like the idea of the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, though. No glass trumpet feels funny, though. But I guess the logic is, hey, I just DT and I attack. Like, I do a big number. I'm doing a big enough number that losing 20 is irrelevant. If I have 8 things on my bench and they're damaged, I'm doing 380. If I have 7 things on my bench and they're damaged, I'm doing 330. See, I don't really need glass trumpet. And then if you are going that route, it probably does make more sense to have Chorus, right? Because you have Chorus, Chorus gets you the DTE and it gets you the stadium to expand your bench. I'm using this as a point to work off of. Okay, so 3, 3, 2, 4 of these. Do we care about Manaphy? What hits the bench right now that we care about? What hits the bench relevant numbers that we care about? Bezendipity can spear 100. So I guess if we have a damaged Bibarel, if it comes down under like Gape Jaw, which they have in there, I do kind of appreciate that. It's on 20. Bezendipity spears at 100. Our draw engine's offline. Radiant Greninja doing 90 to 2 things. They could take damaged Gengars off our bench if we don't have damage pump. Greninja EX, I feel like it's just a lie. Dragapult. Fallen Dragapult's doing damage counters, though, not damage. The Dragapult gets past Manaphy. Only the V, the one with Burning Rondo. You assume there'd be a V-Star? Because yeah, no, they didn't give him a V-Star. They didn't give him a V-Star. The V-Star logic, who they gave them to, I don't understand. I'll be honest. It's like very random selected. Because like when they first started the V-Stars, it was like, oh, it's going for like the legendaries. Like Arceus got a V-Star, Palkia got a V-Star, Dialga, Darkrai. It's like, yeah, they're like legendaries, like mythicals. Makes sense. And like Gudra, and like, okay, Gudra's neat. He's not legendary or mythical, but he, you know, he's neat. Malteser, welcome to the Goomba Gang. I had to do a double take on that name. Malteser. Thought I almost had to read a scary word. Yeah, no, Malteser, how you go? Yeah, I think we work off this deck list. This is what we're working off. Molga, I still kind of like the idea of having a Molga in here, though. Amolga, I think we keep. Monkey Dory. As much as I like the idea is that it helps us fix up numbers, but if our numbers are 380, we don't really need to fix them. If you hit something, it's dead. It is not getting back up. Dunstan with the sub. Cheers, buddy. Goes over to YouTube to tell people they can watch for free, then comes over here and pays me to watch. Hey, you boggle my mind, man. Speed Record, what do you think about Worlds 2024? Honestly, I liked it. I feel like it was a good showing of interesting meta picks. Like the fact that Iron Thorns won it, yeah, keen. I made a video on Iron Thorns before it released, and I was like, I feel like this card has a lot of potential, and then it won Worlds. So I was like, yeah, I know stuff. I know stuff. Had far too many fireball shots. Man, it's a Wednesday. Did you go for wings or something? Or are you just like, it's Fireball Wednesday? Oh yeah, I like the idea of Amolga. These definitely stay. Greninja is a maybe. These get cut, right? I think these are getting cut. I do like the idea of having Psychic Energy to attack with Gengar, right? It gives us a single prize attacking option, so we don't get walled by Mimikyu. What do they have it at though? 2? 2 seems fine. Mandel, welcome to the Goomba gang. How you going, buddy? We get these. Radgren, I think we do cut then. Charjabug, I kind of don't hate. And that's not a sentence I thought I would ever say. With lower energy counts, though, then Amolga probably does get cut. What else are they working with? Carmine's an interesting call. I do like that, actually. Thornton, I feel like we keep. Because being able to go Thornton a Terrapagos into a Zoroark to evolve and be a threat, or Thornton a Squawkabilly into a Zoroark and evolve and be a threat. I like this. I'm doing just swell, man. Just swell. Then came Superior. I feel like I missed something there. What before Superior? Are you? Oh, you mean the V-Star thing? Yeah. Hang on. How does Superior get a V-Star? I know Dudsta's a fan of Superior V-Star. What's the logic there, though? They're like, yeah, legendaries? Oh, like pseudo legendaries? Like, it's a dragon. It's basically a legend. Superior. Why? I'm not dissing it. I'm dissing the logic. The V-Stars, it seemed like they were doing it for like legendaries initially, and then they're like, nah, anyone can have one. Gecko, if you want to try Gengar EX with Duskmart, you can give a list if you tell me where to send it. Send it over in the Discord. There should be a link to Discord on YouTube. I think maybe on just the home page of my channel for YouTube, or if you go to a recent video, it'll be linked. If you were in Twitch, I could chuck a link for it in the chat for you. I guess I could technically chuck a link for it in chat here, and you can see it on screen if you want to type it out. But
all right, that's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Silverhood Gangs, welcome to the Goomba game, buddy. Welcome. Leafeon? Yeah, okay, yeah, Leafeon got one too. Yeah, Leafeon and Glaceon got them. That actually annoyed me, because I used to collect the evolutions. So like, oh, they're cool. And like, they would all get a card. Because like the VMAXs, like they all got a card. So it was like, okay, you put all them, and then like even Eevee had a VMAX. So it's like, okay, cool. There's a page of a binder. Like it's perfect 9 cards. It's good. And then they're like the V-Stars, 2 of them got them. I'm like, why? Taylor, how you going? How are you going? How'd you go with the polls from the codes? Simmy's here did not deserve it. Only for their alt art. The alt art was pretty... They didn't give the other, like, Simmies them, though, did they? Like, Simmy Poor and Simmy Sage? Like, I don't understand the logic of that. When there's, like, these group Pokemon, why are they just like, just pick one. Drew its name out of a hat, it gets a V-Star. Why? Like, where's Torkoal V-Star? Just give him one. The others didn't even get V-Stars at all? Yeah. Did they even get Vs? I don't even think they got Vs. Alright. What do they got, though? A bunch of Pokemon search. Like, I've kind of mixed feelings on having Gapejaw on this now. I'm kind of getting mixed feelings. Carmine, though, I do like that idea. Because, like, being able to go, oh, first, that's fine. Get Gengars in the bin. We're good. I also kind of like the idea of a Roseanne in here. We don't really have tools, though. We have one tool. Which, if we're running a Roseanne, we probably want another. And I really like the idea of Colress. If we have Colress, though, then 100% we should be having Manaphy. That is not how you spell Manaphy. Now I'm putting J's in other words. This is all Chargebug's fault. I'd like to say I did that intentionally, but I didn't. Josh? Hey, you call me good looking? You think I'm cooking? Oh, bad. No, this is like a soft simmering with a microwave. I guess we're cooking a bit. We're cooking a bit. We cooked up some Darkrai and Terrapagos lists earlier. Do a big bonk number. And now we are cooking up Terrapagos and Zoroark. Apparently this turtle likes hanging out with ghosts, is what I'm getting out of this. Mendel, you open Simmy's here, Alt Art and Crown Zenith, and you're sad it's not seeing play at all? Like me myself, last time it played it was in Rayquaza. Yeah, it's not a good card. It's a funny card. It is not a good card though. Don't play that. I'm sorry, man. Don't save yourself and your opponents a headache. They'll see it and they'll be like, what is this? I'm not reading that. And fair. Okay, Manaphy though, I feel like you get to hang out in here. You get to come to the picnic. Like the Chargebug, I genuinely don't hate it. I don't, because then that means like we can be damage bumping from Gengar onto other things on our bench and then just attach for turn onto the Zoroark and the active. It gets damaged and it's scaling itself up. And it kind of annoys me that I don't hate it. This should not be a genuine like consideration for the deck. We've got to cut 2 cards. Super Rod, what are you doing for me? You're getting Pokemon back. That's basically it. You're not really getting energy back. Night Stretcher, I feel like also may be worth including. Is there any other kind of like spicy things they had going on in this? Palpad I don't hate because we're going to be using Zoroark and like discarding a bunch of stuff. It makes sense. Okay, Palpad I can get behind. Capturing Aroma is also one of those ones where it's like I can kind of get on board with that. Especially when it's a deck that just wants to fill the bench. Like if I get Tails, like great, I get a basic. If I get Heads, like great, I get my evolution. Xeno, what happens during Wednesday streams? Workshops, man. We workshop Wednesdays. So it's usually one of those things where like I'll just kind of come up with a deck idea and I'm like, well, we're throwing this together and making it work on PTCGL. Or people come by and they're like, hey, I've been trying to make this deck work. Can you give it a go and see, like, give some recommendations? Or when there's a new set around the corner, we get a bit ahead of the game and try and make some decks for it so then I can make videos for YouTube and be like, hey, here's an early concept. You can proxy it, give it a go, and then you're ready for release. Instead of waiting for like PTCGL to have it. Alright, I gotta cut 6 cards from this. I like the chorus. I think he stays. Roseanne, I don't think it's doing enough for us. Right, we don't have tools. It gets the DTE back, though. It gets the DTE back, it gets the Stadium back, it gets a Pokemon back. I don't hate it. I don't. Because then if we're prizing DTEs, it's a way to recur them. The Psychic Energy, theoretically, we cut it down to 1, but having it at 2 does mean we could, like, charge up a Zoro with it. It's mostly in the for Gengar, though. Right? Like, having Gengar be a threat is kind of nice. And if our opponent jumps on with the Area 0 Under Depth, so they're like, oh, I have a Terra Pokemon, I'll have 8 things. It's like, cool, Gengar does 160 now. You're welcome, and thank you. You normally just catch the stream during the budget build battle tournaments, you know? Fair, man, that's fair. Yeah, now that I have 2 days of the week where we do those, I guess, yeah. 60% of the time, it will be that. Also, yeah, for anyone that this is the first time by the stream, I do host a tournament over on Limitless called Budget Build Battles. It is a strictly single prize format. So no rule boxes, no radiants, no EXs, no Vs, and no A specs. It's kind of just like to simplify the format down, make it a little bit more creative with deck building. And then there is also a limitation of just 2 copies of a card with the same name, with the exception of basic Pokemon. So basic Pokemon, if evolved into a stage 1, you can have 1 extra copy of the basic. Into a stage 2, 2 extra copies. Special energies, trainer cards, though, you're limited to just 2 copies of those. So yeah, make some pretty interesting shenanigans. If you are interested in it, type !3B, it'll give you some more information. And if you want to sign up for the tournament, you type !3B tourney, and it'll DM you a link to it, and you can go sign up. I've got one for Australia, so Friday nights in Australia, and one for Friday nights for North America. So there should be a time zone that works for you. All right. What am I cutting, though? It might be the Charger Bug. Might be the Charger Bug. It genuinely might be Iono also. Ultra Ball, I feel like, is better than Nest Ball. Well, I guess to get into Zoro Vstar, like Ultra Ball for this, Ultra Ball for that, and that's pretty much it. Nest Ball gets me into all the pre-evos. Okay, maybe we leave that as it is. How did they have space for all that Pokemon search? Great Ball, Aroma. What do I have that they don't have? I've got Colress, they don't have Colress. I've got Roseanne, they don't have Roseanne. Draw supporters, I've got 1 more Carmine than them. Pokemon lines, I also have a Charger Bug, they don't have a Charger Bug. Okay, so I feel like Palpad stays. Do they not have Rod? They don't have Super Rod. I don't know about that. I feel like Super Rod's good because Zoroark's V-Star power, if we sack way too many things, we're going to be having a bad time. And like just being able to put a bunch of basics back into the deck if we ever get hit with Collapse Stadium, I feel like is pretty big. Area 0 Under Depths, technically we could knock back. Like we could cut this back to 3. And we're just banking on I'll get into a big bench, right? Like initially we're gonna have Zoros, Terrapagos, Squawk, Bidoofs, maybe this. As we expand the bench is when we get our Gengars out. If they ever collapse, Gengars go into the discard pile, so we're not really losing damage counters because they just come back with damage counters again. So maybe we don't need the Super Rod then, because that would be the logic, is that these are just coming back. Super Rod would be getting the Zoroark pieces back, which I have Stretcher for, and technically I have Roseanne for now. Switch I could thin. Fez maybe we cut? Did they have? They do have Fez. Thornton maybe we... Thornton we probably do cut, because we have 4 Zoro Vs. There shouldn't be a situation where I don't have a Zoro V on the bench. Capturing Aroma, I feel like might not make the cutting block. Like it's probably bump that up. Cut these. Gets me to 63 though. So we're still not quite there. Pump definitely stays. Palpad is a maybe. Although I guess because we have Palpad, we don't need as high counts of support. Like we've currently got 10 draw supports while also having Bibarooms. Having this for early game, I feel like is big. We theoretically could go down to like a 3-3-2 line. Or even just a 3-4 and cut the Ionos. I genuinely, maybe we do cut Ionos. Because like Iono's good super odd versus Lana. We have Roblox Pokemon. Lana only gets non-Roblox Pokemon. So Lana would just be getting the Bibarels. Bibarels Manaphy. Gengar comes back from the discard on his own. I get where your head's at, Zeno. I get where your head's at, because I'm pretty sure you mostly come by for the 3B streams, is what you were saying. So yes, for that format, really good card. For standard, it's okay. It's not as good. It might be Roseanne gets cut. I like the idea of Roseanne, though, because then, yeah, we're researching away DTE, we're Zoroing away DTE, we're running low on resources. The Psychic Energy, we could probably get away with one. The Chorus, I could probably get away with one. And then two more. Two more things. Which it might be an Iono. And if I, like, it might just be cut these. It genuinely might just be cut these. Because early game is not great. I have Bibarel, so if they Iono me, I'm fine. But do I really care about me Ionoing the opponent? It's a good, like, it's such a good card, but it's also like one where this tight on space. Or it's like kind of capturing Aroma. That's what it is.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Legend, how you going? Strategic, how you going? Everybody's here. I think that's it. I think that's it. We have one Iono, so we have the potential for a bit of disruption. There's Palpad, so we can recur it. We still have Carmine at a fairly high count. The other thing is, like, theoretically, I could cut a research. Cut a research for a fourth Carmine. DJ, what's your opinion on Charizard Dragapult? I think it's fine. I think it's fine. It's got a lot of pieces, but like it can work. Like, are you running it with Charizard Dragapult and Pidgeot, or just Charizard Dragapult? What's the consistency pieces you have? Because like I'm not opposed to it. I like the idea of it because Dragapult, you're doing slightly more damage than Charizard in the early game. You're setting up damage counters, so like mid-game Charizard can be taking out knockout or like cleaning up knockouts. It's like, oh, well, like there's a couple pings on that from Pult. Zard will clean that up. So I like that. And then in the very late game, Charizard is just an absolute monster. And yeah, you put some pings out with Pult, and it's like everything's in range. So it's cool. With Pidgeot, yeah, so I don't know. I haven't played enough reps with the deck to genuinely speak to it from like a competitive standpoint. It does seem like there is a lot of pieces in there, though. Right? Like, you're trying to get 3 stage 2s online. That's a lot. Because typically it's Pidgeot gets priority, right? You rare candy into Pidgeot, and then Pidgeot gets you into a rare candy to get something else online. But then at the same point, if you're trying to have all 3 of those simultaneously online, it gets a bit tricky. Like, are you manually evolving up to Dragapult, or are you rare candying into the Dragapult? Like, is Dragapult kind of like a mid-game attacker, or really? Because when I see that deck, I view Dragapult as you should be using it as an early-game attacker, which means you need Pult online first, and then Charizard. Like, Charizard and Pult almost simultaneously getting evolved up. So, like, trying to get 3 stage 2s on simultaneously seems like a lot. I'll be honest. I like the idea of it like next set. It's like Stellar Crown, we're getting, I can't think of the name of the A spec. Terra Crystal, I want to say it's called, where it reduces the attack cost of a Terra Pokemon it's attached to by any color energy. So like you can chuck that on Dragapult to cover the psychic energy cost, and it's like, okay, I don't need to worry about that at least. And then Charizard just like chucks a fire on it, chucks 2 fire on itself, and it's like, I have 2 threatening attackers online now. But then you're also giving up your A specs a lot, so it's like, well, can you afford not to have Prime Catcher? Strategic, Dragapult gets buffed in Stellar Crown with a new tool. Yeah. Like, I like that idea for Bolt. And the fact that you can target that with Arven, I think is big. You can target it with Arven, you can recur it with Roseanne. It's like, theoretically, you're just always attacking for 1 energy with Bolt. If you combine it with Pidgeot, right? Because then it's just like, hey, put this back into the deck, Pidgeot, grab it. You're in a good way. I don't know. I've never personally had success with Dragapult, so I don't really want to sway your view on it one way or the other. I can see the logic of the deck. I just, yeah, don't really view it as top tier. I'd say like B to B minus personally. But what's your view on it though? Like, are you enjoying the deck? Does it work for you? Like, does it kind of fit your playstyle? Sneaky old Crab coming in with the raid. How you doing, Crab? What decks are you testing out tonight, man? All right, but I think this might be the 60. I'm mixed on it. I am mixed. And yeah, anyone come by from Crab's stream? It's Triple B TCG. We stream a bit of shenanigans. I'm also like competitively competent player. I just don't go out to leagues as much because, well, I'm very busy with Twitch and YouTube these days. So tonight we are just kind of theory crafting some decks for early concepts of Stellar Crown. We've done Terrapagos paired with Darkrai, and now Terrapagos paired with Hisuian Zoroark Vstar. So I was like, yeah, I feel like this is going to be an interesting card to kind of experiment with and see what kind of things you can make work. Just finished grinding to Arceus, then played Glamora. Nice. Yeah, I need to grind more games on PTCGL. I only really play ladder like 1 day a week. So I think I'm like Ho-Oh or Lugia rank, something like that. IRL Funk, how you doing? It's Charizard to get Pidgeot, Zard, and Bolt into the game. Yeah, like Legend, that's kind of where my head's at too, man. It's a lot of pieces. Cheers, man. All right, what are our thoughts on this though? Are we missing anything? I'm happy with where it's landed. We've got Charger Buck, so as we're charging up Zoroark, it's getting damage counters onto itself. We have multiple Gengars, which are getting damage into play. Gotta drink enough. I was waiting for you to finish. When you guys are just spamming it, I'd just wait. I'm not gonna like keep drinking till you're done, because nah, I'm a human being, man. Isn't it still pretty hot down under? It's winter time for me. What do you mean is it hot? Our seasons are the opposite of you. Like spring has sort of come around. Southern hemisphere? Yeah, it's all backwards, man. It's backwards. You heard it in the news? Like it's not cold, I guess. I don't know. What do you consider warm? I think for today it was like 18. So it's not hot. It's not cold. Like I still wear a t-shirt because I'm originally from Canada. So like I go for a run and I'm just like out there in a t-shirt and there's people with like parkas and like toques on and shit. And they're kind of giving me looks like, what is he doing? Who's this Goomba? Why is he zooming around? I'm like, well, because I foolishly signed up to do a marathon and I am not in shape anymore. Probably be broken in 2 weeks, but I'm also stubborn, so... You know, you read about it? Yeah, fair. 18-ish British summer some days. Fair. You from Britain, Strategic? Nice. You guys see the sun like 2 days of the year, yeah? Something like that? It's just like always overcast. I feel bad. Poor London. Always under the weather. Under the weather? Well, I guess we're always under the weather. The weather's so... I don't know where this sentence is going. Always chilly. Nah, man. Like I'm taking the piss, man. I know the sun would come out more than 2 days of the year. It's just always quite rainy, is what I've heard. It's like Vancouver. Vancouver it's always raining in Vancouver, but they also get beautiful weather. Like it's more like 40 degrees. Wait, gotta look it up again. What's 40 degrees? 40 degrees. Are you saying that's what it is in Britain sometimes, Legend? Is it? Like under a tanning lamp? In WA, there's been a heat wave. Really? Well, WA is also like a desert away from the rest of the country. Their weather's a little bit different. I'm in South Australia, so we're still getting like winter. We had nice weather last week. It was like 25. As Brit, you complain when it's hot and complain when it's raining. Fancy a whinge, do you? Can't stay for long, but hey. Yeah, how you doing, Paul? It's been a bit. How have you been? Well, you been grinding a lot of games with Dragapult TX? When you had that heat wave a couple of years ago, your homes became a furnace because your homes are not designed to keep heat in. Fair. That's fair. Yeah, like, that's something that's thrown me off about moves. We're kind of just chatting. I'm just going to go big screen. Since moving to Australia, it's confused me because like in Canada, all our houses have insulation. Like there is a wall, there's another wall, and then between that, we have like fiberglass stuff that kind of looks like cotton candy, and it keeps the heat in and out. Well, I should say it keeps the temperature in and out, because when it's cold, it keeps the cold out. And when it's hot, it keeps the hot out. But then when it's hot and you have the AC on inside, it keeps that inside. And basically, it turns your house into a thermos, which is good. And then you move to a country like Australia, where it's like, it's 45 degrees. Yeah, I'm like, why don't you have like double pane windows and insulated walls so that my AC doesn't leak out? I'm like, no, that's silly. Why would we have insulation? It would keep the heat in. It's like, no, it's like a thermos. It's like how you have a cold drink and you can have it outside on a hot day and it's in a thermos and it stays cold. You do that to your house. But yeah, apparently the logic's not there for that. Legend, you know that song? Plants vs. Zombies? It's a good song. I wish that they didn't like kill that series. The mobile games, they all went like pay to win and pay to play. And then the Garden Warfare games, they kind of did the same thing. Like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, loved that game. Garden Warfare 2, mixed feelings. The new one, like Neighborville, I'm like, oh, I'm not touching that. The mobile game though, like the original Plants vs. Zombies, I still play it. They made it free to play, so it has ads, but it's the perfect airplane game because you put it on airplane mode, you can play the game, but you don't get ads. Like, big brain. Oh, you're an adult now. Oh, you just turned 18? Happy birthday, man. Play the first 2 games only? Ah, fair. Fair. I've got to move around where I have this big brain thing. I've got to reset some of these things because yeah, as I'm moving scenes, it doesn't line up. I've got to have it so it's just like always on top of the camera. I'm sorry, Josh. I saw that. I appreciate you. I feel like I failed you there though. Do you like all the PvZ games? Ah, nice. Oh, happy birthday, Bolt. First game was so cool and actually pretty easy. Yeah, that's so fun. Like the first time you play it, it's not easy. And then you get like a few levels in and you're like, okay, I understand. Well, I feel like tower defense games, we don't get them anymore. They're such a good genre. Bring them back. I want more. I don't have any raffles on at the moment, Zeno. Mostly just do those when we're doing tournaments or when I'm playing PTCGL. We're just like chatting and deck building, like nothing. Sorry, man. Tower defense is a dying breed. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like real-time strategy games. You don't see them anymore. Like when was the last time we got a Warcraft? They just make World of Warcraft. StarCraft, I guess they kind of do still. Kinda. I miss those. Tower defense and real-time strategies. Bring them back, guys. Bring them. Turn-based games are still going though. Like Civ 7? Ooh, I'm keen for that. I'm gonna disappear into a bunker for like 6 months when that comes out. You will not see me surface. Bye. Only if EA had made PvZ 3 good. Yeah, it looked bad. It looked bad. DJ, what's the rarest card you have in your collection? I'm not sure. I don't really know that any of them are that rare. Like, I have a binder full of cool stuff. Like, they're all kind of just as common as the other. Like, I guess like alt arts and stuff. So like I've had like the alt art Suicune, Entei, Raikos and stuff like that. And I've got all the alt art evolutions. Hashtag triple bunker. Boyd beat bunkered. Where'd B go? B in bunker. BB in the bunker. Is there monetizing Pocket? I don't know. Pocket's an interesting concept. Like, I like the idea of it. It seems like it's going to be a faster game that's more geared towards casual players. And the fact that they're monetizing it and they didn't monetize PTCGL is a big L. Like, PTCGL should have been monetized so that they could have an actual development team behind it and could have regular updates and could have more cosmetics and stuff. Like, I'll happily pay $5 a month for like the premium battle pass as it is. Happily pay $5 for that. Get them some money, get them some more like developers, some more programmers, make the game less hot garbage-y. Pokemon, if you're watching this is purely satire, by the way. It's not satire. 20 card decks though? Yeah. But I don't think you need energy in your deck is kind of the vibe I'm getting from that game. I think you just get a guaranteed energy for turn. Or do you need energy in the decks? Like, I'm kind of viewing it like it's going to be like Hearthstone, where just like every turn you get 1 mana kind of thing and it just stacks. Or is that not how it's going to work? 18 messages were deleted. Legend, what did you do? Legend, did you put a period in your sentence and it thought it was a link? I'm sorry, man. If Silk Song Hollow Knight sequel comes out, you're gonna go into bunkers, you know? I never played Hollow Knight. How is it? It's kind of like a Metroidvania roguelike, right? All right, anywho, back to building this deck. I like this, like, just chatting with Triple, but also a hint of Pokemon. Oh, legend. Hollow Knight is really solid. Nice. I might check it out. I feel like it's on like Game Pass, which I still pay for some reason. And I don't really play my Xbox anymore, but I'm pretty sure I still pay for it. Honestly, could just sell crafting credits and I'm pretty sure it would be fine for live. Right, even that. I was like one who was all transitioning over to live. Like, people were buying up celebrations codes like crazy, and like those went like so much money. Pre-release kits too. I feel like people are sleeping on that. Pre-release kits, you get a decent chunk of credits back because like if you have all the cards that are in it, that entire thing just credits. You're writing something about Plants vs Zombies? Ah, okay. Where are we at though? I think I like this deck as it is. I might even just cut that Capturing Aroma. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just like, here's one card. Like, do I just have another Iono and be like, I have a bunch of draw supporters? Kind of leaning towards that. Cut the Capturing Aroma, put a second Super Rod or Carmine or Iono. Or even another Colress, because then it's like an out for DTE and out for Underdepths. Because we will be able to see a lot of cards every turn, right? With your draw power, with the Bib rolls. But I think just having that guarantee of, I get the Stadium, I get the energy is pretty big. I might do that. Cut that. Second Colress. Mixed. I don't know. Final answer? Final answer. We do that. But like early game getting into the DTE, it's pretty big. Good morning, Pharaoh. Feel like you're in Australia, looked up and saw a spider like the same size as your hand. That's just a little guy. It's only the same size as your hand. That's a little one, DJ. You're fine. You're fine. Like if it doesn't even know how to speak, like you're good. As soon as they start talking and like, hey, you got any beer in the fridge? Then you'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I'm in Australia now. It's really awkward. They love small talk, and I'm not a fan. Just like, get out of here, man. I'll try and squish you. You won't die. It'll be uncomfortable for both of us. Okay, go to the fridge. Legend, the mobile version of Twitch is a joke. You can't see your whole message, which makes it hard to correct small mistakes. Just roll with them, man. It's okay to make mistakes. Just accept them. Learn from them. Embrace them. Okay, I think that's the deck list, though. I think that's going to be it for tonight's deck building shenanigans. We doing a video? I might just do the video offline. Might just do the video offline. But I am liking these concepts. Thoughts? Closing comments? Frank Gallagher? What? We have Frank who lives in our bathroom and he takes care of the flies that sneak in. Is he a shameless fella? I see what you're doing there, legend. I see what you're doing. Frank the spider. Frank the tank. He's a hefty boy. Oh, actually, hang on. Do we do this? If I shrink this down... No, because if I want to zoom in, it's going to get funny, right? Yeah. Like that looks kind of janky. That looks all right, actually. That looks all right. We zoom it in a bit. We're good. That's good. Fan rotems there. Okay. Oh, no, that one we can't zoom it at all, or else it gets genuinely mad. That is the limit for it. Okay, do we do the YouTubes? You guys? Hey, we close with a live YouTube video. Surprise, no zooming drawbirds? What's zooming drawbirds? Who's zoomy drawbirds? Pheasantipity? Pheasantipity's right here. Right here. And here. Brand, you go down here. Brand, you are an item card now. Also, we fixed that. Ace specs should always be the last thing in the deck. That was real. Did I watch Shameless? I am aware of the show. I think I watched half of the first season or something. I knew a lot of people that were very into it. I watched a bit of the British one. I think I watched more of the British one than the American one. Damage itself, draw a card. Oh, Dodrio? Nah. Dodrio eats too much too much deck space. Too much deck space. Like, are you thinking Dodrio for Zoroark? What would you cut for Dodrio? Like, are you thinking replace Bibarel with Dodrio? I'm not opposed to the idea, but I'm hesitant. No idea? Yeah. Like, it's one of those things that these aren't bad ideas. There's just a finite amount of space in decks, right? Like, there's so many things where it's like, I would love to include these. I would love to include, like, majority of the cards you guys suggest. Like, yes, they're great calls, but something needs to come out for it to go in. And that's where the line's like, well, makes it tricky. Like, for this, we probably could get away with 3 Gengars, but at the same time, we want to have theoretically 4, right? If our opponent hits us with a Collapse Stadium, we need to go down to 4 things on our board. I want it to be 4 Gengars that can come back from the discard pile. You've just seen it a lot in Zoroark. Yeah, like, you 100% can just build like a Dodrio version. Here, let's look on here. We use this as inspiration, this list. You can see it's quite different, so no, I did not just straight copy a deck. We don't have Great Balls, we don't have Gape Jaws. We've included, what were the other things we slotted in? Like Chorus, Roseanne. So it's used as a skeleton list. But yes, there's Dodrio. Dodrio with Fan Rotom is kind of spicy. I do like that idea. I'll give him props on that. That's actually really neat. Okay, we do Dodrio one. It's gotta be real quick though, guys. It's gotta be real quick. Real quick. What counts do they have it at? 3-3. That feels greedy. Not saying it's wrong, but it feels greedy. But I guess then they don't have Bibarel, do they? No, no Bibarel. So Area 0 would be gone. That needs to come back. Blast Trumpet, it looked like they had, which I can get on board with that. Torterra needs to get back, or not Torterra, Terrapin. Keep calling him Torterra. Oh, poor Torterra. I think that was all they had in here from the new stuff. Trumpet, Stadium, Pegos, Fan Rotom. Yeah, so Bib goes, that goes... No Radiant? No Radiant! No, I like the Charjabug. Charjabug stays. Gengar can go lower counts because we have the Dodrios that are hurting themselves now. Charjabug stays. He's my dude. Fez? No Fez either. What? Higher counts of Night Stretcher, DTE, Psychic Energy. I don't know, mixed feelings on that one. And then no Nest Ball. No Nest Ball just seems wrong. No, you need Nest Ball. All right, thank you for the idea of Dodrio. I'm changing everything else though. Roseanne's backup, maybe. Because we have Glass Trumpet, we can go higher on the basic energies and likely slightly lower on the DTEs. We also need to go higher on this. We need higher on this. Like, that's kind of where I'm mixed on the Glass Trumpet. Like, do I actually go in on the Glass Trumpets? Or is Glass Trumpet at like a mid count? They're running it at a 2. 2 probably seems fine, right? Because it's like you have it in here for the Gengars. Don't necessarily need it. I don't even know that you need it at a 4 count. Like, having it at 3, I think, is probably fine. Unless we do 4 of this, 3 of this. These likely get cut now, though. Like the Roseanne, the Chorus. And the Dodrio's a 3/3 also feels a bit greedy. Like I feel like we go down to 2/2. I think that's plenty. The Charger Bug may not be necessary, but the fact that it can get damage onto the Zoro, and then I'm getting damage on the Dodrios, then we're damage pumping that off onto other things. We can also be damage pumping off the Gengars onto the Dodrios to make it a threatening single prize attacker. DTE gives us access to Pheasantipity as an attacker as well. I like that. Like the Capturing Aroma, I'm not on board with. Carmine, I think we keep. I don't think they were running that, were they? No, they went Iono or Research. No, I like Carmine. And like Iono, I don't know that we want Iono in this build. We don't have a lot of draw power. Like if we get Iono'd, we're not getting out of it. If we're Ionoing, early game, we're helping the opponent. Late game, we're hurting ourselves. This what, Dodrio for like 1 or 2 out of it? Nah, I think we do that. We have these for straight draw. Might want to bump up the rod counts. And it's maybe we cut the Charger Bug. Manaphy definitely stays because Dodrios are easy targets for Gren. Gengar's easy targets for Gren. Kind of leaning towards a 4th Gengar. They have double Squawk, double Fan. What am I running higher counts of than them? Like, why are we not at the same? What's the difference? I have Charger Bugs. Yeah, like 2 of these. No, that's just so greedy. No Nest Ball also, like, nah, can't get on board with that. Ryu, why the bug? The bug makes it so when you attach an energy to a V Pokemon, it takes 2 damage counters. So it's a way that it's, while I'm charging up Zoroark, it's damaging itself and scaling up the damage it's going to be doing. So then I can be using the damage pumps to move damage counters onto other things, right? Like I can be putting damage onto my Terrapagos, my Squawkabilly, my Fan Rotoms, stuff like that, instead of having to use some of it on the Zoroark. Like it's just one less thing I need to be targeting. So it's like the attachment for turn gets counters out, the Gengars get counters out, the damage pumps move counters out, or move counters around. And it's also just a way so that if our opponent does ever like downsize our bench, we have more ways to get damage counters back onto the board. Like if we get hit with a Collapse Stadium, having to get 4 things back on the bench damage, it's ideally Gengars, but this build we only have 3 Gengars. It does also make it a bit trickier. I'm kind of leaning towards bumping that back up to 4, but then what am I cutting? Also, were they not running Switch? Is that where they're getting their space? They don't have Switch cards in their deck. Mad lad. We could get away with 1 Switch, maybe. That could be how we free up a bit of space. That feels risky, though. And yeah, like, I feel like I do want that. It's like 4th Gengar. Cut an Ultra Ball? I don't really know that I want to cut Ultra Ball, though. Second Fan Rotom, I'm not opposed to, though. So second Fan Rotom means I'm more likely to get into the Doduos, the Dodrios. But then I need to find something to cut again. And I'm trying to avoid cutting more things. Which it genuinely could just be cut one of these, 4th Gengar. I have a Trumpet, so if I get these in the discard pile, I can be charging up, but then kind of defeats the purpose. If I only have 2, they're going into 2 different targets. I don't know that this deck needs Trumpet. I'll be completely honest. I don't think this deck needs Trumpet. I think we do that. Thoughts? Do we bump this up to a 3-3 line? Caster, how you doing? MW, you're liking the Cave Caridon deck. Reminds you of the single prize return to this deck. Nice. See, but they cut your bench base and put the stadium. Doesn't it just reactivate the Gengar? Yes, it does reactivate the Gengar. But when we only had 3, it makes it a little bit tighter. So we bumped it up to 4. I think we're good. Which means free damage to move around again. True. Don't really need Switch in the Zoroark deck because the first attack in the V. I do need Switch in a Zoroark deck because if the opponent gusts up a Gengar into the active, how am I getting it out of the active? Right? Boss stalling is a very good tactic if your opponent is having a slow start to the game. That's why you want Switch cards. You don't want Switch, like, yeah, Zoroark can attack and bounce itself. Like, what's that do? Then there's something sat in the active that I hope gets knocked out so I can get back into my attacker. Like the switch is more so if your opponent's trying to slow you down, you want to be able to get into the active. We have Prime Catcher, we have 1 switch. We have a lot of things that can just be gust stalled into the active in this deck. And like there's a lot of decks that want time to set up or that can get like abuse you if they have time. Like into Regidrago, for example, if they wanted to gust up a Terrapagos, it has 230 HP. They could hit it with Dragapult's attack, start spreading damage counters onto our board. They're getting free damage out. And have a turn where it's like, do you have a switch or can I do this again next turn? It's like, oh, well, I might get messed up now. I'm kind of liking where this deck's at, though. Like, for early concept, I think it's fine. A second switch would be good. Second Night Stretcher, I don't think is necessary. Second Rod, potentially, just because of the amount of discard supporters we have. Like, second Rod over Stretcher is honestly worth considering. I think the Stretcher is just good because it's, hey, I can get into a Zoroark Vstar from the discard pile. One gets knocked out and get into another piece. Potentially we cut an Area 0 for another Super Rod, go down to 3. Could do that, or I could cut a Psychic Energy. Let's just Predator Arceus instead of running Switch. Sure. I feel like we're fine here though, right? Dodrio, what kind of numbers does he get up to? He goes up by 30 for each damage counter, so at 90 doing 280, like that's good, right? He can be taking out V-Stars. We can pump him up with pumps. Draws his card, slowly getting stronger, and then when we really need him to get there, it's just like damage pump onto him. He can be a genuine threat. Alright. Alright. I think that's going to be the deck. I think that's going to be the deck. Are these going to be nice when I click on them? No. No, they're not. And if I click on this, where does it go up to? It goes up to like the 60. It goes up by all the Pokegear stuff. Okay. We record live? I think we recorded live, guys. We're doing it live. It's actually kind of late. I might record it offline. I'm trying to get into the habit of just recording these live with you guys, but no, I think we record this one offline. Pretty happy with these lists. So for anyone that has just kind of tuned in and is curious what we were doing tonight, we were doing early concepts for Stellar Crown deck lists. did Darkrai Vstar with Terrapagos in 2 different variants. So we've got it with Noctowl and we've got it with Bibarel. With Noctowl, you're being able to just target into specific pieces and get online very, very quickly, which is good. But then in the late game, you don't have any draw power. So things like Iono are really going to hurt you. And ironically, we are running Iono ourselves. Theoretically could be cut for something like Roxanne, but then in the early game, it's not doing anything for us. But also in the early game, we're kind of helping the opponent. With the Bibarel build though, obviously, if we Iono in the late game, mid to late game, Bibarel can get us out of it. And it's just letting us see more cards. For Hisuian Zoroark, we are running it with just like high counts of Gengar. So just get these in the bin, get a bunch of damage counters on board, get going. Beautiful. It's such a cool card. And then also tried it with Dodrio. So Dodrio's zooming draw, take a damage, draw a card, makes it so Zoroark's doing more damage. I like it. Yeah. I don't think I really have it in me to do like a full video and get the whole YouTube voice going and talk through the concepts and the matchups. So likely do that offline tomorrow, and I'll try and have it uploaded later this week for both the decks, well, both the deck concepts and the 2 variants for them. Thanks very much everyone for coming by. Everyone that came by from Sneaky Old Crab stream, if you're still here, appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the vibes. And we do have the budget build battle tournament this Friday. So if you're not already signed up, head on over to the Limitless page. I'll post the link again in chat here. You can type 3B tourney. It'll send you a link to go and play, well, go and sign up. But budget build battles, the whole idea of the format is it's effectively no rule boxes. So no Vs, no EXs, no Radiants, no A-specs, making it so that single prize Pokemon that don't really get a chance to see the light of day in the standard format have an area where they can kind of show like, hey, we're good cards too. Like we saw Marowak make top 8. We've seen Palafin 1. Torterra is an absolute dominant force. Okidogi's a scary deck. Dragapult. Not the EX, the single prize Dragapult, really scary deck as well. I think 2 in the top 8 last week. So yeah, if you're keen to kind of try some single prize shenanigans and something a little bit different than the standard format, highly recommend giving it a go. There's always people looking for games in the Discord, as well as kind of like bouncing around ideas for deck lists. So there's links for that as well. And I'm currently doing a giveaway over on Twitter for a booster box of Stellar Crown. If we get it to 1,000 likes, you'll get a booster box and ETB. And I think we're at like 700 right now. So getting pretty close. If you want some free stuff, all you have to do, let me know what the chase card you're after is on the post that's pinned on my profile there. Like, follow, and yeah, you're good to go. So good luck to everyone that's entered, and those of you that are going to head over there and do that now. See who else is online though. Make sure you guys have a nice place to raid out to, or if anyone has any suggestions, let me know now. But probably just suss someone out and hop on over now. Does anyone know Mew Skywalker? I like puns. I'm kind of on board with pun. There's a Corsola in the chat? Oh, it's gone though. Dang, it's too slow. Okay, well, Pecky PCG has ads as soon as I clicked on his thing, so that's a no. That's a no from me. This guy I don't think is talking, so that's also looking like a no. And I'm thinking Mew Skywalker has ads. Oh, that's not what you want to see. What's this guy cooking? Hang on. We're gonna raid this guy named Guru Pop-Tart. 1, because I think that's a really fun username, and 2, because it looks like he's cooking up something with Meowscarada, and I'm keen to see where he's at. Yeah, thanks very much everyone for coming by, and till Friday, take care of yourselves, guys. Oh, also, if you haven't already hit follow, like, just get on it. You get your Goomba. If you do it while I'm live, you get your own Goomba on the screen. I'll give you a couple seconds in case anyone wants to sneak in. Legend, how you doing? Goomba, yeah, Goomba. Get Goombin. All right, take care, guys. All right, and I think for YouTube, I'm still live. I gotta like actually go on there and tell it I'm not on there anymore. So anyone watching on YouTube, hey guys, how you going?